Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember where the fuck we're at in this book called the Bible?
Well, we were discussing olive people last time.
Olive people and grape heads.
And grapes and vines and all kinds of
yeah.
stuff like that, it seems like.
Good
so
stuff.
That was, alluding to other things, I guess. But
Oh, because it was an allegory.
Right.
But I didn't know that at first because I'm thick.
So I think yesterday we read Isaiah chapter 17.
That is correct.
Which means that today we'll be reading
Isaiah chapter 18.
Let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, Isaiah chapter 18.
Okay.
And in this chapter, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between and more, and on all the other ones too, we are moving into the African continent for this episode.
Okay.
Okay? Because we're going to talk about Ethiopia now. Okay?
All
I was
right.
being a flight attendant. And
Yeah.
I was directing your attention out the window.
Got it. And I was telling you to raise your voice because when you talk like that, the sound thing can't hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody. I don't know things. Okay, so anyway, we're flying to Ethiopia now.
Okay, we're flying. Is this first class? Coach?
I mean, if I'm flying anywhere, it's
Wright
gonna
Brothers
be
biplane?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. No, not a biplane. What? No. I want to go first class. I've never been first class. Okay, anyway, whoa, to the land of whirring wings.
Whirring wings?
Whirring wings.
Whirring. Okay, as in like they whir.
Whir.
I got
like
it. Okay.
Whirring.
Land of whirring wings. Wow.
Along the rivers of Kush.
Okay.
Whirring wings. Remember the other day you were asking me what is alliteration? That is alliteration.
Got it.
Whirring wings.
Yeah.
Which sends envoys by sea in papyrus boats over the water. That's kind of poetic. Woe to the land of whirring wings along the rivers of Kush, which sends envoys by sea in papyrus boats over the water.
Yeah.
Go, swift messengers, to a people tall and smooth-skinned, to a people feared far and wide, an aggressive nation of strange speech, whose land is divided by rivers.
What? Okay.
I don't like the way this is
They're
going.
sending a messenger to this aggressive nation with whirring wings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tall, thin people.
All right.
who
I'm
are
just trying
aggressive.
to make sure I'm understanding here.
Which
is Ethiopia, right?
That's what it said
Not
at the top.
Egypt.
Right. Ethiopia.
Okay.
Yeah. All you people of the world, you who live on the earth, when a banner is raised on the mountains, you will see it. Because I'm not actually talking to the whole world. I'm just talking to this continent.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking to this whole continent. I'm just talking to this half of it. And I'm not even talking about this half of the continent. I'm just talking about this part of this half of the continent.
And really, you can only see that banner if it's not a really tall mountain. Because if it was a really tall mountain, you really wouldn't be able to see that.
Even from the foot of it, much less traveling out afar.
So it's got to be a very specific set of circumstances here.
Right. We're talking about a petri dish.
Right.
And then they're trying to call it a globe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, actually, flat earthers had this part right. Because they just occupied a very small plate of land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could just pick up the plate of them and it that is all they were.
Just to clarify real quick, flat earthers have nothing correct.
Right. No.
Just I want to make sure that is not even remotely something that we
no flat earth. Okay. No. I just meant it's funny that they deny that there's a whole globe. And at one point, it was the other way where people were swearing that this one small portion was the whole globe.
Right, okay.
That's what I meant. Like, just how the belief of what is happening.
I just wanted to make sure you clarified that point.
Sorry.
That's all. So
in my head, it was brilliant because it was a switch in belief systems over the ages.
Yeah.
And it was just a finely tuned point.
Okay. All right.
But I clearly did not communicate it
not
very
well enough.
No. Apologies. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
I am not a flat earther. I do not endorse, and I don't wish to espouse those silly, nonsensical beliefs.
Right.
Okay? So, all you people of the world, you who live on the earth, when a banner is raised on the mountains, you will see it. And when a trumpet sounds, you will hear it. I think that's true.
No.
This is what the Lord says to me. Ready?
Yeah.
I will remain quiet and will look on from my dwelling place, like shimmering heat in the sunshine, like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest.
Okay.
That's what he says to...
So he's like an oasis or a cloud of dew.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
For before the harvest, he's done talking. That was the end of the quote.
Yeah, sure.
For before the harvest, when the blossom is gone and the flower becomes a ripening grape, he will cut off the shoots with pruning knives and cut down and take away the spreading branches. Okay, just to be clear, are we talking about real branches or are we talking about analogy branches?
I think we're discussing people again, maybe, or groups of people.
Analogy people plants.
I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay, I don't want to miss out on the olive people again.
I think, this time it's maybe another type of fruit or vegetable that they're the different type of people now.
Okay.
These might be corn people. I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they will all be left to the mountain birds of prey and to the wild animals. The birds will feed on them all summer, the wild animals all winter. At that time, gifts will be brought to the Lord Almighty from a people tall and smooth-skinned, from a people feared far and wide, an aggressive nation of strange speech, whose land is divided by rivers. The gifts will be brought to Mount Zion, the place of the name of the Lord Almighty. The end.
So it sounds to me like maybe the Israelites and or God, according to the Bible anyway.
Sure.
Killed some Ethiopians maybe.
Okay.
And then they wanted to make peace with them, so they brought gifts to God and I don't know. I am very
doesn't feel right.
Right, but I'm very confused over this chapter. So like I'm not really sure what they're going on about here.
Well,
to be perfectly honest.
Okay, so the people are bringing the gifts to Mount Zion. So it's not the Israelites bringing gifts to the Ethiopians.
That's what I was not saying that at all.
Okay, well,
no.
You had pronoun abuse because you said they and they and
Sorry,
they.
no, the Ethiopians were bringing gifts to the
God,
Israelites, which would be in Israel. Yes.
Okay. But even still, like, I don't know about all that.
No? How do you interpret what we just read then?
Yeah, that makes the most sense. It just seems like, but would they do that?
Well, if you were being killed, and the alternative was to bring shit to somebody else over in some other place, wouldn't you do that? Like, hey, if I bring you gold and animals to slaughter, will you stop killing me?
Will you lay off?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a couple who breaks up and then like they exchange boxes of CDs and sweaters and shit like that, and then they're like, "Here's your shit."
Right.
And then they fight over who gets to keep what friends, except that this isn't high school and one is massacring the other.
Correct. Yes.
So not a good analogy at all, really.
I'm going to be very curious to get to the end of this week and find out what the fuck we've been reading about exactly. Because, I mean, I am very not sure about what all this means.
I know that there are prophecies. I know that they're Isaiah's prophecies.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying.
I was told that is the only reason I know that.
We know that bit. But...
Right. But I don't really fully understand what the prophecies mean.
Right. And the prophecies are very vague about what they're discussing.
Which is really funny because we were just watching an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And they were talking about a prophecy and it came true. Yeah. And Cisco is the emissary. And the 3 Vipers came and they thought it was the 3 Cardassians, but it wasn't. No. It was the
3 asteroids.
The 3 it was the one comet, which was the sword of the sky or something like that. Mm-hmm. The sword of stars. And then when they tried to stop it, it broke into 3 pieces, and those were the 3 Vipers.
Yes.
Yes. And they had to make sure that they got them through the wormhole okay, or it was going to collapse the wormhole forever. Mm-hmm. And so that opened things up, and it turned out, yay, everything was good, and the prophecy came true.
Got it.
So there you have it.
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right. So, sorry. I'm just that was so irrelevant to so many people right now. I'm just I was completely zoned out. I'm like,
I know you were zoned out. Oh my God.
We're discussing one episode in a 20-year-old, franchise.
Okay. I hear what you're saying and fair point, but hear me out. It was relevant to something that's happening in my life right now. They're talking about prophecies.
Yeah, no, I know.
Guess what? I was watching a show today that was about a prophecy.
But if somebody tries to keep up with you and all of your references to all the pop culture shit that you mentioned, it's not even pop culture. It's ancient pop culture.
I'm ancient. Why wouldn't my pop culture references also be ancient?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying they have to do some deep Googling is all I'm getting at.
Okay.
You're forcing people to go down these these rabbit holes with
again
with 80s and 90s,
Again, I hear what you're saying, but I feel like the majority of our listeners are Gen X.
But I bet
or older.
Most of them still don't know the exact episode we're talking about.
No, they don't. But I mean, not as a whole. But there's always 1 or 2 people.
So you're playing to the 1 or 2 person crowd. Yes. And not to the everybody crowd.
Okay, as somebody in Discord pointed out several weeks ago, thank you for this, Bretty. Wife speaks to an audience of 1.
No shit.
Yes. I am my own audience. I entertain myself. I enjoy talking about things and making connections and trying to understand. And if I can't understand, I enjoy making fun.
Okay.
Or being confused and admitting I'm really fucking confused. I don't get this shit.
Right. And
I'd much rather talk about Star Trek than the Bible any goddamn day. And I'm betting that a lot of atheists feel the same way. So on that note.
Yes. So that was Isaiah chapter 18.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that tomorrow we will be back with
Isaiah chapter 19.
We'll see you guys then.
Okie dokie.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.